baby, let's get ready for 300 seconds on the couch.
I really don't know it's gonna take 300 seconds.
I get paid by the hour.
I didn't realize girls had nipples until I was 16.
And you did what again?
Well, yeah, I'm 39 years old and I make ringtones. You know ringtones?
And how did that make you feel, Chris?
So, Barbara, I did something this week I'm ashamed of. You know how at the time something seems like a great idea, and then after you do it and it's too late to change anything, you realize it's a bad idea? Well, I think I messed up.
So why don't you tell me about it, Chris?
That is what I love about you, Barbara. You have an open mind and you don't judge me.
I get paid by the hour, and my name's not Barbara.
Well, remember last week how I told you I went on that road trip and the whole bathroom incident happened? Well, there was a little more to that story that I didn't feel comfortable with discussing last week, but now that I've thought about it, I think I'm ready to tell you. I was hanging with 3 old buddies of mine, and I get pretty trashed off of 2 wine coolers. We were having one of those deep intellectual conversations, and you know how everything seems deep and intellectual when you're drunk. I don't remember a lot about the conversation except for the part where we started talking about ex-girlfriends. This particular girl came to mind, and she wasn't even really my ex-girlfriend. I was going to ask her on a date, but I just never really could work up the nerve. It's one of those what-if moments. After the incident, I just couldn't work up enough courage.
Exactly what incident are you talking about?
Well, when I was younger, I was at a pool party with some of my buddies. I look up out of the pool and I see this angel just sitting there basking in the sunlight. Probably one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. So I just sit there in the water for at least 30 minutes, trying to work up the nerve to get out of the pool and go talk to her. So finally I hop out of the pool. I hopped out a little too quickly. My swim trunks were actually pretty loose, and I didn't realize it, but when I got out of the water, my shorts stayed in the water. And Doc, I have to admit, when you get out of a swimming pool, that's not the best time to show off your stuff. You know, your goods.
So, how did that make you feel, Chris?
Honestly, at first I felt kind of violated, and then I just lost any nerve that I had because she was laughing at me. And my stuff. All I really knew to do was run. And I ran all the way home. So I'm telling my buddies this very same story that I just told you. Their advice, they told me I should rectify the situation. And I said there's no way I'm calling this girl up out of the blue. Especially not after she laughed at my bishop. And they told me that calling her wasn't actually the answer. What I should do was send her a picture of my fireman. I should tweet it to her because that's what everyone is doing these days. Like I said, I was pretty far gone, so it didn't take much to talk me into it. I go to the bathroom, next thing I know I got my phone out and I'm taking pictures of my stuff. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get that same feeling that I had when I was getting out of the swimming pool and she laughed at me. There was no way I was going to be able to send that picture. I got ready to hit the delete button and then I thought about my buddies in the other room and how they were going to make fun of me when I walked out and said I couldn't do it. So I came up with a plan. I decided to put a subtitle under the picture. She knows my friend Anthony pretty well. He's one of the guys that was actually convincing me to do this. So I wrote under the picture, Anthony's Wiener. So the next day I get on my Twitter account to look at the picture, and I realize I screwed the whole thing up. Instead of putting Anthony's Wiener, I put Anthony Wiener. It's really taught me a pretty good lesson, Doc. I know now that if I ever decide to write anything, I can't drink a drop.
You don't read the news, do you, Chris?
Who has time to read the news? Oh, Barbara, I was just wondering, do you have a Twitter account? I figured maybe you and me could...
No.